So, my linguistic background started early. I was really interested in languages, and I was fortunate enough to go to an elementary school where they started us in French in the second grade. So, I started taking French in the second grade, and then I added on Chinese, and I added on Spanish, and I added on classical Ethiopic, the language of the Orthodox Church in Ethiopia. And so by the time I got to about 10th or 11th grade, I really knew that linguistics is what I wanted to do. So I started at Harvard in linguistics. I did my BA and MA in 19, finished both of those in 1998. Realized I love classical languages and literature, but really what I loved was listening to African American people talk, have fun, engage. And so they suggested that I move down to the University of Pennsylvania for my PhD, which I did with Bill LeBove and finished in 2005. I did 2 years of that time, though, at Dartmouth College because I developed a real passion for teaching undergraduates. And I figured that would be a great place to go and learn from some wonderful linguists how to really focus our research on undergraduate education. After that, I really loved undergrad education, went on to the College of William and Mary, and then the University of California, Santa Barbara had an awesome opportunity to combine my love of undergraduate education with African American language and culture. And now that's how I'm here. I first joined the LSA as a graduate student in 1999. So that was my first year of graduate school when I was fortunate enough to be named one of the LSA Institute graduate fellows. So I joined at the time for the application, and then I've been a member ever since, and now I'm a lifetime member. So for me, the Linguistic Society of America has been really important. Both my undergraduate advisor, Calvert Watkins, and my graduate advisor, Bill LeBove, were both presidents of the Linguistic Society of America. So I saw its importance for students, I saw it for faculty, and really thinking about how we can add more voices to what linguistics is, what we do as a group. And that's why I've really kind of been interested in supporting the institutes whenever I can as professors, as students, as just even going to do workshops for 2 or 3 days, as well as serving on the Linguistic Society of America Executive Committee to make sure that linguistics becomes more inclusive. Language, culture, cognition, thinking about gesture, sign, the interactions with literature, the interactions with learning, the interactions with thinking about what we'll be doing in 20, 30, 40, 50 years with technology. We kind of need all of those voices at that table. And so there's been some really exciting and innovative work that we've done in the last couple of years to really think about inclusion. And I'll be giving a plenary address at the 2019 LSA annual meeting in New York that really outlines some of the things that I think we can do as linguists in particular to not just make linguistics more inclusive, but to make higher education more inclusive as a whole. So at the 2019 Institute at UC Davis, I'll be teaching a course with my colleague Mary Buckholz entitled Language and Race. We're going to think about the ways that racial theory have been informed by language. We're going to be thinking about the ways that linguists can use their linguistic knowledge and insight to address issues of discrimination, particularly around race and the intersections with social class, sexual identity, gender orientation, sorry, so I messed that up. So we can think about the ways that race intersects with social class, sexuality, gender identification, and our aspirations in terms of thinking about what linguistics can be and how race can be viewed as an empowering cultural aspect, not just something that we're trying to eradicate in the hopes of eradicating discrimination. So I hope you'll join us for that conversation. Right now, I am working on a new book called Talking College, and the book really has two purposes. It's to document and explore the decisions that African American students make in their college experiences, but it's really designed for students to serve as a guide to really help them think about identity formation, their choices as undergraduate students during their college years. So we'll be working on that grant for the next 3 years. Next summer at the UC Davis Institute, I'll bring all of my NSF REU, research experience for undergrad students, many of whom are from historically Black colleges and universities, to Davis to actively be working on the book during the course during the summer, and then we'll be traveling all around to schools all over Northern California as part of the project. I love to travel. So I love to figure out how many trips can I fit in for fun during an academic year and for work. So usually what I'll do is I'll give a talk somewhere and then I'll spend that weekend or a couple days just exploring, and it's so fun. So moving to California, there's so many new cities, new countries. We've been running around both California and Mexico. Um, and just seeing what's out there. We do that. We like theme parks. We like restaurants. We like sports games. Well, my husband does. So we usually do a mix of the three. If I weren't a linguist, I would probably be a mix between a cabaret singer and a travel agent. A cabaret singer that travels the world, but also I could see myself like taking people on trips and talking about the language and culture, but from an entertainment perspective, and then singing in like awesome places with a mix of, the Wayne Brady type entertainment. That's comedy, that's drama, that's musical mixed theater. That's what I'd be doing for sure. I'm looking forward to having some fun in Northern California. Southern California has proved to be awesome this year for me in my first year here. So we're looking forward to some Bay Area fun. I'm looking forward to learning more about the Inland Empire, and learning more about the different UC campuses. Particularly for me, I'm really interested in UC Davis because Gary May, the chancellor, is the first African American UC chancellor. So I'm going to try to find him so I can follow him around at least for a day. All right. So ice cream or cake? If I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with cake, chocolate cake. But chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream together, that makes the world go round. Quarter or semester? Sorry, UCSB. Semester. This quarter thing is killing me. I mean, it's June 21st and school just ended yesterday. What is that about? Cats or fish. Cats or dogs is definitely fish. My best advice for graduate students who are interested in pursuing a career in linguistics is this: 3 points to it. Number one, think about how linguistics intertwines with other interests you have, whether they be computer science or music or literature or marketing, accounting, just the ways that we communicate in really specific applied environments doesn't just give us practical applications for our work, but it gives us different ways of framing our theoretical questions. And those questions can be as specific as, what is the phonetic realization of consonant clusters for healthcare professionals as they go across languages in a setting on the US border? Or it could be as general as thinking about the ways that we are informed by social theory in these different contexts. Part two, how much time you spend reading. To really be innovative, to be able to be published freely and easily, you really have to see how you've situated your work and the work that you want to do in the future in the existing conversations that are being had. And if you are from an underrepresented group, you may often find that there is no conversation. But the ways that you can bring those different existing literatures together that make more people kind of see your new or unique point of view is critical. And then the third key point, sleep. I don't know why people think that you can do better as a scholar if you don't sleep. But if I have to think of something new, I have to really be high energy, interacting with different people, reading new material. The only way I can do that and be creative and innovative is to actually sleep.